What's going on, Juco?
We got another trading day in the books. We are back. Today is July the 14th. It's 2026. And we up. We up. We are ready to conquer the markets. How many of you had a tough day on yesterday? With the Trump tweet that came out, right? Y'all remember that. Y'all don't remember the Trump tweet that dropped us all? The same play that happened on Friday. Killed us again on a Monday. How tough was that? That was really tough. I know it was tough for me. And the thing is that on Friday, I was on the opposite side. Meaning that I made the bag on Friday. And then here come the same setup on Monday. And I do the opposite. I go long. But my initial bias was short. If you go back and look at the live, you would see that my whole entire initial bias was short. And so for me to be able to miss that, that was tough. That was tough for me on yesterday. That was tough. But we was able to hop into shorts and be able to secure profits from what we lost. We was able to get that all back right on yesterday. So I'm just glad our initial bias on yesterday was still correct. When I go to the charts, I'll be able to show it to you on the charts of exactly what I meant when I was saying how I'm a little bit, happy we was able to secure some of that back. All right, so we had CPI this morning. We had news this morning. And if we could get to that real quick. Get to that news so I could be able to show you all. Here we go. So we had core inflation rate month over month at 0.0%. Core inflation rate year over year at 2.6%. Our previous was 2.9%. Inflation month over month was down at 0.4% at our previous 0.5%. And inflation rate year over year is right at still below our previous 4.2% of last year's June. And our actual this year is 3.5%. The only thing that we have that is coming up this morning, that is remainder, that is pretty big, is Fair Share Watch testimony. Maybe this will give us an extra push within the market. I'm not sure how that will go, but it's something for us to be able to look forward to. Now, as we move to the charts, let's go ahead and move to the charts so we can be able to see what happened. Look at this. Nice candle that printed right here on the 5-minute chart right here. Well, we're on the 15, drop down to the 5-minute chart. You can see that double bottom right here at midnight open, double bottom. Price jumps up right here, right below previous day high. And it pulls itself back roughly about 50%. Let's see if we was to take our low here. I should remove that label right there so that we could be able to see. Let's see if I can remove that label. There we go. So that move pulled back about 50%. Pull back on that move. I'm looking, if I do want longs here to be able to continue off of this double bottom pattern, I'm looking at about 75.65. 75.65. All right, so let's go ahead and check and see what's happening on YouTube with you all. What I do want to do, first and foremost, is put our link in the chat for those of you who have not gotten the newsletter yet. I've been stressing the newsletter for quite some time, and if you have not subscribed to be able to get that newsletter, you're missing out big time. Big time. Our macro newsletter, you're missing out big time because you will be prepared. We got about 24 minutes until the market opens. Let's go ahead and drop the link for that newsletter in the chat for you all. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. So you could go ahead and put yourself in position. There it goes. It is now pinned in the chat for you, that newsletter. Here's another thing. I was doing some research on last night, right? And I was taking a look at something. And if I could go to the newsletter real quick to be able to talk about just a little bit of what was in there within details for you all who don't have it, I'll be able to go over it with you as far as what we're looking for within the crypto space, right? Because it's going to be getting very, very close to a time to start accumulating. I didn't say we were there yet, but I think this final pullback here is probably it, right? Obviously, we got to let it continue to play itself out. I'm going to show it to you on the charts, but I just wanted to go over a little bit of what's realistic here. Of what's realistic. I was trying to understand the hype behind the XRP space. And for about 2 years, I have been just listening. I traded, right? But I've just been in a state of listening. So if I could move over to crypto real quick, and I know this is futures trading of what we're doing this morning, but I just wanted to go over real quick something that I spotted and what I saw in this space. And obviously it's bullish this morning due to CPI, but if I could take you to a higher time frame, there's something I want you to look at on this higher time frame. I'm gonna remove this, right? This gap right here is getting ready to be filled. This here. You have an opportunity for something of this magnitude per se to be able to snatch it right here and start accumulating once institutions start accumulating based upon smart money concepts, this is an opportunity for you to start accumulating too as well. And the thing is that I don't want you to miss out on opportunities of being able to get something for as cheap as it is and start to do what I'm going to do, which is put it on a smaller leverage, right? We'll accumulate, put it on a smaller leverage, and this won't be spot. We're going to put it on like a 2 to 5x leverage. So the big move that is to come from this, and this is just me putting this out here real quick. If I could do this, I'm going to just grab our measuring bar. You see that 500% move? $587% move. You're going to get another move like that. You're going to get another move like that. And when you do get another move like that, wouldn't you love to be on leverage? And I'm not talking nothing crazy like a 100x, 50x, 25x, 10x. I'm not talking about any of those. I'm talking about just being smart and intelligent with smaller leverage to be able to grasp that type of move right there. That's all you need to change your life. It's not about waiting for this to be able to go to 60,000, 100,000, because it's not. And most people don't understand that because they don't understand market cap. But we're going to talk about this a little bit later, right? We're going to talk about this a little bit later in the show today after we trade. But this is just something that I wanted you to pay attention to, is that this is all you need. Not saying that this is the only crypto you need. What I'm saying is you only need 6 trades out of the year to be able to change your life. Those of you who are not consistent day traders, who don't trade every single day, Monday through Friday like we do. Say, for instance, if you are a person who's trying to figure it all out, doing something like this will change your life dramatically. And what I mean by that is that you only have to take one trade on a smaller leverage and hold that bad boy to be able to get a massive move like this. And to me, I was just thinking about that last night, and I was like, man, that's pretty insane. That's pretty insane. So let's go back to ES this morning and take a look at what's going on the daily chart, right? I just wanted to put that out there. We're going to go back over that a little bit, probably in our, I don't know if it'll be our PM session of where we would discuss this, or we probably would keep this within the AM. I'm not sure. But when the opportunity comes for us to speak on this again, I will definitely speak on this again. All right. So let's take a look at the daily. And as we're looking at the daily, we're still in this bullish expansion, right? We're still trending up. My only thing is, are we coming to take buy side liquidity that's here to create new all-time highs? And from that point, the market falls off. That's just what I'm looking at. Go back here to intraday though. But that's just something that I'm looking at. Something that I'm paying close attention to. I think you could pay close attention to it as well. We're now below the 50% level. Technically, no, we were correct. So let's take a look at gold this morning and see what gold is doing. And I was going to read to you what was on XRP, but I'm just going to save that for this afternoon. I was going to read that newsletter at portion to you all for those of you who don't have it, because we cover stock analysis, indices analysis, crypto analysis as well. And it's very important for you to be able to have that. But for that crypto portion, we're going to save that for either this afternoon and PM session, or literally after we trade today, we'll start just dabbling a little bit into that. So we're still resting at 50% level, trying to break below it on ES this morning. But here's what we have with gold on this morning. CPI, again, we lose support. Look at this. We lose support again on last night, on yesterday, right? We lose this support line. And here's the area of what I'm talking about. We lose this support line here. And we catch a rally right back up above it. And you see, we've just been playing on this time and time again, bringing it right back to support. So for those of you who trade in gold, just be careful. Just be careful. Just be careful. Silver at $59 this morning. CPI got everything a little bit bullish. So if that is the case, let's take a look at our strong point here, which is the US dollar index. And you can see CPI this morning brought the dollar down even more. That's why indices is up. And those of you who don't know about the coupling of this here, if the DXY starts to continue its push on to the downside today, right? If that continues, then you best believe you could see longs for ES and for NQ. But if this downside candle here, and if it starts to recover and brings it back here to about 100.84, then you're kind of short on indices, in which you should be short on indices. Let's take a look at YM this morning. You can see how YM is trading on this morning. It's not looking too bad. Not looking too bad at all. And NQ still pulling back too as well from this fair value gap. So this huge candle, you would have dropped down to the 5-minute from here. So you're getting that reaction that reaction that you're getting. Drop down to the 1 minute time frame. You'll be able to kind of see what we're talking about here. And so we have about 10 minutes until the market open. Go to a 10-minute chart real quick. You can see that it's slightly trying to recover here. But like I said, we're in a double bottom pattern. So if I could go to Google here and just show you an example of that. You see this here? Here's your double bottom pattern. Once you break above the neckline, that was the breakout, right? So that's kind of what you saw today. We go back to what we trade, which is on ES. The double bottom here. There's the neckline. There's your break. Boom. Beautifully paid. Right? So one thing that we want to look out for this morning is, will this market hold off of this double bottom here, which is above midnight open, and continue to trade higher? Sorry, y'all, for this pause. I'm having to respond to an important text this morning. Okay. So back to what we were saying. If this can hold here, we see it pulled all the way back around the 62% level at 75.70. I wanted it at 75.64 to be able to hop into this to continue long. But on the 1 minute, we do need to break this bearish order block of what we have. If I drop down to the 1 minute chart, I could show you exactly what I'm talking about. And that is right here at these equal highs, right? You got equal highs, that's right here. And just slightly below these equal highs, you have this bearish order block that is right there, right? And so we will need to break this in order for us to feel like this is continuing to be bullish from this standpoint. We have about 7 minutes until the market opens. So we're kind of in that temporary bearish order block that's right here. And we have equal highs that is resting slightly above that. So we'll take got equal highs sitting right here. Something that we want to pay attention to. Had to take a sip of that good coffee this morning. We did not go iced coffee this morning. We went hot, right? And I must say, man, still tastes magically delicious. Magically delicious on this morning. So Back to the task at hand. Those of you who are now tuning in, please like and subscribe. It helps with the visibility of the show. And you can see we're breaking that small bearish order block. We got about 5 minutes until the market opens. So here's a push past that, back to these relative equal highs here. So we'll go ahead and remove that. So I think that move played itself out for the double bottom. And we got the manipulation early. I think we got manipulation early. And that was with CPI. And here's what I mean by that. Saying, Jeremy, what are you saying? This is what I'm saying. Those of you who rock with me every day. What is this? Someone post that in the chat. What is this? What is that? I'm just saying, it's something to pay attention to. If you know what it is, that's just something to pay close attention to. The double bottom pattern played itself out already. That's why I was able to retrace back 50% of that whole entire move, 62% of that whole entire move. Now, if we do continue to get continuation, maybe that continuation give us a double top pattern, sweeping previous day high, and price coming right back trading below midnight open. I don't know. That's just one initial bias of mine on today. But I could see it right here, plain as day. If you don't know what it is, it's called Power of Three, right? Where you have, look at London session. Nothing happened during Asia or London at all, period. Complete garbage. But this is what I'm talking about. All of this here, that's your accumulation. There's the manipulated move with CPI data. Now we're ready for distribution to be able to come into the market. And I think that distribution is going to start immediately right at market open. This is going to be one of those days where we don't have to wait for the manipulated move. That the move is going to happen immediately. That's what it feels. That's what it's given based off of the technical aspect of it. But then again, you know, market makers may have something different planned for us. But we're ready for whatever it is that they decide to present within the market. But that's just what I see from looking at this. It's plain as day. It's plain as day. So at the first sign of shorts, and we get like a full displacement, I may go ahead and enter in a little bit earlier than what I usually would, because the manipulated move has already come into play. So I'm paying close attention to that. We got about 1 minute until the market opens. Well, 30 seconds to be exact. 20 seconds. And let's see. Is it an immediate rip to the downside? I'm telling you, it's looking like that's about to be the play here. We're going to see. Market is now open. See the market pull back just slightly, a little bit. Nice displacement. I felt like the market was just going to pull itself back even more. This is where we got to exercise a little bit of patience here just to see how this plays itself out. So don't engage as of yet. Those of you who are trading, what are you trading this morning? And what is your initial bias? All right, we're in a bearish order block now. You can see that happening right here. All right, we had a break of structure that just happened and took place here. So let's take a look at a higher time frame. We're still trading within this fair value gap. That's why we haven't done anything as significant yet, because price is still trading within this fair value gap that's here. So if you drop down to the 5-minute, and this is what you're paying attention to, this area here, this is where we're still trading within the fair value gap. So we are pulling back.
Order filled.
We'll add to this position if we just gonna see if this plays itself out here. Not gonna put too much at risk as of yet. And we are trading our legacy account today.
Order filled.
Go ahead and add to this position here. So on these lows, what I'm looking for is for us to come and take sell side and bring probably an equilibrium balance here at the 4-hour. So these are our first couple of targets. Once we get to midnight open, I'll look to take some off the table, and then I'll leave some runners for sell side and an equal balance here at the 4-hour. So we'll just see how this plays itself out. Let's go ahead and put our stop in place right above. Not here, but here. So looking at this, if you're saying, well, Jeremy, what does the trade kind of look like? with this being our entry, that being our stop. Hold on, this being our stop here. We're looking to target equilibrium here, with our first initial target being right here at midnight open. And then our second target is sell side. And then our final TP is here at 4-hour equilibrium. So let's see if it plays itself out. Usually, if we were in a continuation, this would have been my entry on the continuation. But I like the displacement candle of what we got that was here, that was pretty strong here on this 5-minute, for me to be able to enter into this position. That's my only reason why. So we're trading back into that fair value gap of what was created here on this 5-minute chart. So if you go to the 5-minute, you'll see that fair value gap that's here. I'm gonna change this color so you'll be able to see it a bit more. We'll go with like a blue. So we're trading back into this fair value gap. Move this so you can be able to see. Or we could have took OTE. Would that have been an OTE setup based upon our retracement? And we continue higher. All right, we're gonna go ahead and close.
Order filled.
This trade for should have closed it at 500. Only wanted to risk about 500. And so what this is looking like is an OTE, optimal trade entry. It did come back to the optimal trade entry here at this green symbol level. If I go back to a lower time frame, OTE right here at this green bar, in which I could have taken within consideration, right? So it's looking like we're about to break this bearish order block and giving ourselves an opportunity to be able to get into this trade.
Order filled.
So obviously the retracement back to 70% was OTE, which is an optimal trade entry. And how did we miss that and not see that? But it felt as though it was giving bearish, right? Like after the double bottom pattern happened, we went into a bearish order block, started trading down into this bearish order block with displacement on this candle. That's a short all day long, right? But the market decided to do differently. So we went on ahead, closed the trade to see if we could be on the right side of this trade. We want to get candle closure above that order block though. We want to get that. So let's see if we could get an expansion here. And if we get an expansion here from this double bottom move, what happened here? This will be called continuation, right? Because you got an optimal trade entry here where it turned bullish, got rejected here at the bearish order block, started to pull back into the fair value gap that it created, giving other buyers an opportunity to get into the trade. Now let's see if we could get an expansion above this. And if we get an expansion above this, then obviously our initial targets will be at 76.33 as our first TP, taking out previous day high, previous week high. And our second target will be at 76.57.50. So let's see how this plays itself out. Let's see if we could get an expansion above this level. That's what we want to see. But we are being rejected right here heavily by this bearish order block that's here. That's why we have this line here. We need to break this and start closing candles above this level. We break this and start closing candles above this level, and we were first buyers to get in. So usually I don't like to be first, but it gave off of what we saw here. This is OTE in this zone. That's why I was able to go ahead and close the trade and open up a new position, because we came here to our optimal. This is why this color is green here. This is a buy zone, and I have this. And so what I was initially looking at, and I was wrong, and that happens sometimes, it's cool. What I was initially looking at was the displacement below 62%, and you see we keep getting rejected right here. We just need to close some candles above this level. We keep getting rejected there. It's gonna make me mad if we was initially right and price just came back here to retest this again. But let's see. But what I was initially looking at was the displacement below this level with this candle here off of the rejection. And so it felt as though, hey, it's giving shorts. But you got the swing in the optimal trade entry here into this zone, and it turned bullish, right? So now we're looking to try to break through and close candles above this bearish order block that we have that's here that we keep getting rejected from. So let's see if we can go ahead and reclaim this, and buyers come and step in and take us on up through there. That's what we want. So here's where we exercise some patience. Let's see if we can make back up for that loss. We need to make about at least $2 grand on this trade for today. I'll be satisfied with that. In order to do that, I will be adding to my position another 5 contracts once we start breaking above this level here, getting some candles closed. But until then, we're just going to be a little bit patient. Let's go ahead and add in our stop. Got an expand. There we go. There's the expansion that we need. Now we need candle closure there. So we got about 50 seconds left on this candle. Let's see if it can close above this level here, breaking this order block, in which it did, right? Because it wicked itself, but we need body closure. We want body closure. There we go. Now we're having a shift in market structure there. There's the expansion that we like right there. I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna add another 5 contracts to this trade. And it will be right here.
Order filled.
So we added about 5 more contracts to this trade here. And now we're just gonna hold. We have our stop put in place for today. Now we're just gonna hold and see how this trade plays itself out. Looking at this on the 1 minute, you got consequent encroachment here once we broke above this. So let's see if we can get continuation. Price pulling itself back. Coming back to retest that area where the order block was. Probably taking people out of their trades who moved their stop loss. Before we continue with a push higher. Okay. Okay. Getting stronger displacement. We're almost getting wicked out of this trade here. Looked like we was turning bullish for a minute. I don't know. Let's check Truth Social to see if Trump is tweeting anything this morning. So what Trump has tweeted so far this morning, about 23 minutes ago, he said Labor Department reports annual inflation in June was 3.5%, biggest monthly drop in over 6 years. So that's kind of bullish news, right? Which the market should react off of this, in which it did if you go back, you know, to this double bottom and the takeoff of what we had. But can we get continuation? And that's what we're looking for, is continuation. We have yet to be wicked out of our position. Until then, we will just continue to hold. Take a look at NQ while we're sitting here waiting on this trade to play itself out. NQ2 as well is still kind of within this range. We're still trading within this fair value gap from this bigger move of what happened and what took place at CPI. So we're still within that range. I'm gonna check also the DXY because we know we are in correlation with the DXY. I don't think anything has decoupled as of yet. And so we could see the DXY looking like it's in their sell model. It's looking like it's in a sell model. Hopefully we could get a continuation onto the downside here. And then with ES, you know, it's obviously reversed. We can get the push higher, the continuation to go higher. So, let's see how this plays itself out. I did want to sit out today for some reason. I was just sitting here like, man, I think I want to sit out the markets on today. But then I was like, you know what? We got a bullish order block right here. I was like, man, you know what? Nah, let's hang in there and just make it happen on today. Win, lose, or draw. Win, lose, or draw. Okay, so I'm hoping we don't get wicked out of this trade, y'all. We're just stuck in this consolidation. It's now 9:53. Not far from 10 o'clock. Let's see if we could get an expansion above this level. That's what we need. Beautiful. I'm really more disappointed at myself not catching OTE when it was clearly right there in my face to be able to catch OTE. That's kind of what I'm more upset about for today, in which when I go back and rewatch this video, I'm gonna be paying very close attention as to what I was seeing within that moment, what distracted me to see otherwise, when it literally came back. Look at this field. Look at how it came and it touched literally our zone. That would have been a fill on our order at 75.64. And if you go back to earlier in the video, I said, I think I want to take this trade at 75.64. I literally said that. So I'm having to suffer through drawdown because I didn't take my initial entry. And that's what you have to pay for when you get a sucky entry point. So take that as a learning lesson from myself. You seeing that in real time from me. Obviously, you do understand and know why I took the short here, right? You get displacement, Candle trades back into the fair value gap. You try to take it as an inverted fair value gap, and you continue on with the shorts. But that didn't work. Market maker said nope and reversed the trade on us. So we're still stuck within this range here. Nothing has happened as of yet for us to be able to get out of this. Nothing has happened as of yet for us to get out of this. Fed watch does start speaking at 10 o'clock. So that's in about 4 minutes. That's in about 4 minutes. So that's something we got to keep our eyes open for too as well. It just gives that feeling that's what we're waiting for 10 o'clock to come. It's 9:57. We got short-term buy-side liquidity that's sitting here. This is where we're trading at. So this here, this level here, is some short-term buy-side liquidity. Change this to bullish. So this blue line here is buy-side. Temporary buy-side liquidity. From here, this candle wick here, this candle wick here, this candle wick here. As we go up to the 15-minute, let's take a look at what I see here. This is a low. This is a what? This is a low. This is a, once this candle closes in 53 seconds, that will be a what? Higher low. So I kind of don't want to close my position with this higher low being right here because we could get bullish continuation to the upside. So let's see. Drop back down to the 5-minute. Got about 16 seconds to the 5-minute candle closes. Let's see if we could get a candle printed above this range of what we've been in. Okay. It's now 10 o'clock. Fed Watch is starting to speak and give his testimony. My next question is, do they come and raid stops at this point? Once the Fed starts speaking, do they come and raid stops and then continue to go higher? That's the part of what I'm looking for here. When I start seeing a candle open low, close high, look at that. I'm starting to think, what if they're hunting stops and they hunt stops today and then go back long? That is a strong possibility with Fedwash giving his testimony. We still stuck within this range, and him speaking, obviously, I can't give a draw on it because we're stuck in consolidation. It's looking like it's a raid on stops.
Stop filled.
That was a raid on that was a raid on stop. Well, it's looking like a tough day in the market, people. I just had that feeling that it was going to be a raid on stop. Look at that wick. Look at that wick right there. That was a stop loss raid. That was a raid on stops. It has not been pretty today. It has not been pretty today. We basically gave back our gains from our trade on Friday. That basically what was taken from us on today. So that's cool. We still are here to trade today. We're going to be trading on our 25K account, funded account. Once we're able to get some clear sense of direction here. But that was a raid on stops. I don't care what you call that. Look at that. If we do get displacement below this level here, then we will look for shorts. But as of right now, we're still stuck in consolidation. That wick right there just gave all the feeling of we was getting ready to raise stop losses. It's like you could see their moves before their move. Before they initially do what they're going to do, I just had a feeling. I was like, they might be raiding stop losses on today. Fedwash is getting ready to speak. They might raid the stop losses or whatever, and then we get continuation. That's insane. So far, we're down 1,500 on the day, which is okay. So we see the rejections of what's happening here. So with us continuing to get rejected here, if we get displacement here, we maybe go ahead and be able to enter into some shorts. But let's just be patient to see. But we want to get candle closure below the 75% level. I mean the 70% level. And the reason why I say that is because that's where our bullish order block is. If we can start closing candles below this level here, then we can look for shorts. But you see the rejections of what keep happening here. Rejection, 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 rejection. And now that we can't break past this, it's going to be going down to draw more liquidity to be able to get past this level. So as of right now, we're just trapped. Trapped buyers. We're here. You get wicked out of the position. Here, here, and here. You get wicked out of the trade. And those of you who are on higher leverage, you know, you're kind of getting wicked out of the trade here. And then if price continues on down here, those who were playing it safe, this is where their stop losses are, and they could get rated here. So, just something for us to keep our eyes on. Exercise a little bit of patience. We're going to drop down to the 3-minute chart because this is what I primarily be looking at, is the 3. We're still below the 50% level, which means what? We like shorts below the 50% level once we get significant pullbacks, right? But we need another pullback with great displacement below this level with a fair value gap, and then we'll enter into the trade. But as of right now, we just got to sit on our hands and be patient. Be patient. And obviously you already know, if we break above the level of where we've been getting rejected from, then we could look for continuation to be able to happen here. So we have a couple of ways to play this. We have switched to our 25K account. Let me switch to it here. There we go. Therefore, you can see our entry and exit points. All right, let's see if we could get displacement below this level here. This is what we like. For shorts. So I have another thing that I have that's another feeling within me. And obviously, I'm going to wait to see if it play out first. But remember earlier in the live when I was talking about this here, and we're going back to Asia, playing within this range of where we like to say, it's fine, 3 o'clock a.m. To about 7 a.m. Okay, so within this range here, y'all remember when I was talking about this? And the thing is that I called it out, but obviously how am I missing? Y'all remember when I did that? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Why the hell am I taking longs? Why? Why am I taking longs? Well, because first and foremost, you got OTE of what happened here, right? Stop buyers out. Obviously, we get trapped. And then the market decides it wants to short. But the thing is do we get stuck within this short here? Or is it really distribution? You don't know until you start trading it. And so that's why it switched a little bit for me, because all my entry models was kind of presented within this. OTE is right here. That's an entry model, right? That's an entry model. Displacement below this level. Boom. You get displacement. That's a short. So were we in shorts a little bit too early and the OTE was the fake out? Like, you don't necessarily know, but trading live while the market is going, you just have to have your systems in place and you trade your systems. If they fail, they fail. But at least you have data to be able to go off of, and you have an understanding of what is happening within real time. You're not clueless. You're not lost, right? Like, I'm not clueless or lost on anything of what's happening. I know that this is my entry model here. I know that this was an entry model for me here with displacement. So if you were to go down to the 1 minute time frame and you see that, boom, 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 3 candles, fair value gap, we come back, invert the fair value gap. That's a short. That's a short. I don't care what you say. If you trade ICT concepts, that is a short. And OTE entry model is right here because we came right back to the 70% level, which is green. Boom. There's the trade, right? There's the trade here, but you get trapped here. Price pulls back. It's kind of like both models presented itself, and I took both of them. The only one that I was late on was OTE. So I don't feel bad with losing those trades because I understand what happened within those moments. It's just that, hey, the system failed within that, and that's okay. At least I have understanding as to what has happened, and I look for that as a win. Great risk management, having stop losses in place, and we down 1,500 on our legacy account, which is cool, right? We gave back our Trump earnings, so let's just see if we could rebound on our 25K account and go from there. So we see we're breaking below the 62% level. Trying to get some candle closure below here, but I want to see a full displacement candle and a break below this bullish order block before we enter into any kind of shorts. That's really why I'm being patient here and not rushing into anything. But as of right now, we don't have that. Seems as though we're finding support here at the 62% level, and if we were to lose this with full displacement, then I'll re-enter into shorts if we get entry to be able to get it. So that's what I'm waiting to see. Right. It's 10:14. I mean, just look at price action, man. People are getting caught up. Look at that. What if people went long here? You got the doji, bullish candle, bullish, break above that. People start to go long, then they get whipped out. But this is that displacement candle that I was liking to see right here. A strong displacement candle, right? We get strong displacement. If we get strong displacement below this level, let's see, we may be able to get our entry here. So we're breaking below orb. You see that? Price started to rally back in this level here. So if I could take this over here so that you all can be able to see what I'm talking about. So we're getting displacement below this level here. If we get displacement with a fair value gap, we're entering in.
Order filled.
Look at that slippage. I don't like that slippage. All right, let's go ahead and put a stop loss in place. That's beautiful. It's what we like to see. So our first initial bias on what we had within our short setup, if I go back to a higher time frame so that we could be able to see this a little bit more clearly, what did we say that we wanted? We wanted to sweep previous day low and come and take our first initial TP right here at midnight open. And we leave a runner. If we were to break midnight open, we leave a runner for sell side liquidity that's down here. And then our 4-hour equilibrium that's here for the full entire trade on today. So let's see how this plays itself out. We may be able to add to our position here some. Just gonna exercise some key patience here. But that was the displacement that I was talking about with that fair value gap entry point. Once you close, get candle closure below this level. If I could go to the 1 minute, I'll be able to show you all a little bit better. And we're still trading within this fair value gap from earlier this morning from that CPI move. Can we leave that already? But I'm gonna go ahead and close that off so I could show you how those entries work. There we go. So you see this gap that we created here? Boom, boom. Once we broke displacement below this level, we have a fair value gap here. Price comes right back up, touches this fair value gap. That's an entry for me. So I enter into the trade. If I look to add more to my position, once the trade starts to trade lower, I'll add more to my position, and I will look to target midnight open. That's my first initial target. My second initial target will be, you already know, sell side liquidity that is resting. So we are trading below the 62% level, which is good, right? So that means we're still what? Bearish. So let's just be a little bit patient here. Boy, I hope this is just not a tough day where like none of our entry models work. That would suck. Like seriously, that would suck on the day. But that is darn sure what it's given. Look at that. If we get wicked out here, that's it for me for today. I can't. I would have been done had it with the markets on today. Both of our, I mean, 3 of our entry models failed. With all this news happening with CPI, No clean price action at all, period. You having a raid on stops. Something told me to sit out today and wait until tomorrow where we have some cleaner price action.
Stop filled.
So but here's the thing. We're in an overall, this is what I don't understand. This is overall bearish order block here. All this rejection here. Price pulls down. That's an entry, right? But it reverses. And then it, what are we pulling back now? You know, the market will give you one of those ay moments. But that's it for me, man. That's when you just hang it up and walk away and preserve capital and live to trade another. Tough day on today. So let's tally it up. Let's tally it up for today of our losses on today. So we lost about, let's see, that was 109.58. And on our legacy, that's 15.26. So really not happy at how today went at all. So let's go 15.26. So that's 16.35 on today. So we lose 16.35 on today, and that was out of 3 trades from this morning. -3. 3 trades on this morning. Interesting. You pull back 79% and then you want to turn higher. Screw you, market makers. Screw you. But look at this price action though. Like, look at this. All of this is just ranging. Pure consolidation. No breakout. If I go up to the 1 hour. Here, let's go up to the 1 hour. Tell me what is wrong here. Accumulated move, manipulated move, then it should be distribution. What are we continuing to go higher for? And you can see this 1 hour candle. Look at the wick on this 1 hour candle. So you open low and you're closing high. That's what it's given. Opening low and closing high. You got about 35 minutes left on this. And it's not even 11 o'clock. It's not even 11 o'clock. Highly disappointed in today. Not in myself, but more so in price action. I can't help the fact that our entry models presented itself within this range of what we're in. And I took them. And I would take them any day of the week. So what this is looking like to me is a what? I'm gonna be honest. I still think we're bullish here. Let me show you something. Now that I'm sitting here looking at this, let me grab this. What is this looking like? Is that not what it's giving? Is this what it's giving? Are we in a bull flag? That's what I'm thinking. And so we may be able to catch along here coming out of this bull flag. That's why I'm not that's that's why I'm sitting here like, hey, I have one more trade in me. I have one more in me. There we go. We're breaking out. If we could get a breakout here, and I could catch that, if I could catch a good entry, just being patient enough, not rushing. So it says Fed Wash Q&A. He want economic growth to be more broad based and inflation more limited. I'm just waiting to see if we could get a feel here. If we break out of this bull flag, it's on and popping. This is a bull flag to me. Yeah. That's what it's giving. What do you all think? I think once Fed Wash is done running his lips, the market is going to turn and break out of this bull flag. So I'm going to be patient. So those of you who are tuning in on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. Please hit the like and subscribe button. We are trying to build up this YouTube channel. We're giving you education and I'm trading live for you. So you can be able to see me do it in real time. You're going to see me make money. You're going to see me lose money. You're going to see me give great education as to how ICT concepts work, right? A lot of people say they don't work or whichever the case may be. But hey, if you're a profitable trader and you consistently win, you have more wins than you have losses, and you understand what you're doing, why buy into any of the noise? I don't buy into any of the noise. If my models present themselves, I take them. If they fail within the trade, hey, they failed. It's my job to manage my risk. Hey, y'all, we might be able to get a breakout right here.
Order filled.
move to the 2-minute. Let's see if we can get an expansion above this level here. If you drop down to the 1 minute, you can see where we had the 1, 2, 3 candle fair value gap, enter into the trade, and that's what we did. It's looking like we're getting ready to get that breakout that we wanted. Breaking out of this bull flag here. One thing though, when we are trading in these bull flags, of what you want to see is something like this usually happens, right? You have a breakout and then a retest of this level, then it takes off. So we may get a break here, but that doesn't mean we're gonna, be too jumpy. Let's wait for a retest. And then once the trades start taking off, we'll be in good standings here. So there's the breakout. There's the candle closure above this level here. That's what we want to see. By darn it, if this was, I told y'all. You know what else is having a setup that's kind of like this, but it's on a bigger time frame? Do you know what else is having a set? There's the break, and then here's that retest of what I was talking about. That's getting ready to come back. The break and the retest. But here's what I was talking about on a bigger scale, bigger time frame, right? Like, and it's 10:33. So let's have the conversation, right? Let's talk about it. I'm gonna go ahead and put a stop loss in place here, right here at about 75, 76. So we'll put a stop in place at 75. Whoa, look at there. Whoa. Yeah. Oh man. Yo, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Let's go ahead and put that stop in place of what we was talking about. But hold on. 75, 78, right? That's where we want. 75, 78. So we have our stop in place. But hold on. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about. You get the breakout. This better not be that break, retest, and then we start climbing. But look, there's no way the market pulls itself back in after this. I am going to be pissed. What rate on liquidity did you go and grab besides creating equal highs here? What in the world? What was that? It didn't even take out that high. But what was that? What was that? I knew it was. Oh man, come on. Even if you wanted to react to that, you still had no time to even try to secure any kind of profits whatsoever. You had zero time. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. What if this is the retest? I'm just going to sit and wait and allow it to be the retest. And go back to what our original stop was. But you talking about, I knew that was a bull flag pattern. I was like, man, this is a bull flag. We break above this. You bet your bottom dollar you go long. So you had your break, retest of that level. Let's see if we get an expansion here. That was interesting, oddly enough. We didn't even have a chance to take any profits from that at all, period. That was the breakout though. Now we came back into the retesting area and we're just going to allow this to play itself out. But let me tell you where this is coming from on a bigger scale. And I was saying this before we got rudely interrupted by that candle in this wick, right? Before we got rudely interrupted by that candle in this wick, this is what I wanted to tell you all. Earlier, I was showing you this chart within crypto XRP. And I was talking about accumulating and where you should be accumulating at, right? The thing is with this is that when you're supposed to be accumulating there, because that's a target for accumulation, and institutional buying starts to happen within this area of where I was trying to show us this morning. That same thing of what we just saw happen and what is happening right now currently in this bull flag is how that XRP move is going to move. I kid you not. It is going to happen that way. It's going to happen that way. And I honestly want to be on the right side of it. I don't want to be on the wrong side of that. So how could we have even prepared ourselves to even take money off the table within that moment? How? Just someone share with me how. I'm going to remove the bull flag. I'm just a little bit pissed at the simple fact of that initial pop and where it went to draw that wick was no place of significance. So this is like that break. Remember I told you we're going to have that break and then that retest kind of happened back here at this level. So there's your breakout. Here's the retest of that area, right? Because it broke out of here. And then you can see continuation happening afterwards. That's what we're gonna play on and hang our hat on, right? It's 10:43, so it's still early. Let's hang our hat on that. But you could bet your bottom dollar if that does not happen, I'm highly disappointed. Highly disappointed. Being in that massive bull flag, patience is a virtue here on this break and retest. On this bull flag. Bull flag pattern, you had to break out, then you come back, retest this area, See if it's support. Once it's support, then the trade has continuation to the upside. That is what's happening here. It's 10:46, you all. We have about 24 minutes left of stream. I really was hanging my hat on the fact that this was in play. Breakout, retest, continuation. Let's see if it fails or if it holds. Still waiting. We're finding some level of support here at this retest zone. So we kind of want to be a little bit patient here on this retest zone. Hold on to our position and see if we can begin to break again above that level where we got some serious bullishness on that move that just happened and took place out of nowhere. But we called it. What did we say? Hey, we're in a bull flat pattern and we had a potential to break out of this on this bull flat. It didn't even give us the opportunity to secure any kind of profits within this at all, period. I'm talking about at all. So with that happening, we knew we had a what? Breakout, retest, and we just either the retest fails or it holds. If it holds, we're in the money. If it fails, at this point, there's nothing that we can do but just walk away. Everything that happened, we literally called everything of what's happening and taking place on today. And psychologically, this is weighing in on my mental when it comes to the market. Like, look, how are we breaking below? It's looking like the retest has failed. There's no reason we should be trading below this level here. Massive flag we're in, breakout. What are we doing? This is interesting here to see. Like, I really want us to start back trading higher on this. And I'm looking for first TP at 76.17. So I want to go ahead and, obviously, with the way the market is moving on today, it's kind of like you got to go ahead and put your limits in order. If not, you're just going to get shitted on like how we did in the earlier part of the trade, right? So we have our position open. We're just going to hold this. What I'm going to do, because it is 10:52, I'm going to go and make me some coffee. And I'm going to allow the music to entertain you all while I go and make myself some coffee. So that looked like the retest of what we was talking about, right? You had the breakout, bull flag pattern. You had a breakout, retest, and then price comes back, you know, and starts trading back higher. That's what I want to see, right? That's what it's given. When you take a look at this, let's see it with a retest. See? You had a breakout, price comes back, retest this area. That is where your entry is, and then you just go long from here. That is what I'm looking for. This here. I'm looking for this here of what you see. I want this trade here, right here, with this going just like this. See where we have our stop, and this is the trade that we want for today. What is that? 76.34. 76.34 is the high. 76.34 right there. So here's the trade for today. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. Let's see how it plays itself out. If we can be able to get that back of what we had taking place. So you see this massive flag that we're in. We had the breakout. We come back, we retest that key area for support. We're in the trade. We never got out of the trade, right? And we're just looking to be able to just ride this wave all the way back to break previous week high. So let's see how this plays itself out. I'm going to go fix me some coffee. Coming back at 11 o'clock while this trade is playing itself out, I'm going to show you what I want to see within the crypto space and in that crypto market while our trade is running. All right, so let's watch this trade here play itself out. And I'll be back. Okay, we are back from our short break. So, did you all get it? I just posted it on Twitter. For those of you who probably missed it, I just posted it on Twitter and I said what was actually happening within this trade. I called it clear as day. I said, oh man, before it even happened, I was like, oh man, you can go back and replay this live to be able to see. And I was looking at this and I said, oh man, guess what we're in, you guys? It's clear as day. It's clear as day. And I had to kind of go away from my model and start going based upon pattern. And sometimes that's a tool, like those are tools that you got to have in your bag. It's good when you can have tools in your bag. And what I mean by that is this. I saw this massive bull flag we were in, and I said, hey guys, we're in this massive bull flag. If you look at how textbook this setup is, we're gonna have a break and retest. What happened here? We entered the trade here. Our entry point is at 75.79.25. That's our entry. We was in the trade already. We got our breakout. And I was like, oh man, look, we got our breakout. We didn't have a chance to take profit. What does this mean? Well, this means that we're coming back to retest this area for support. Break and retest. Here we go. Breakout. You come back and test this area for support. Those of you who missed getting into the trade here, I entered into the trade a little bit early, but I understood, hey, let me hold on, set my stop loss below this level here. If the retest fails, I get wicked out of the trade. Okay, cool. I'm not mad at that. But if it holds and support holds here, we're riding this wave all the way to the top for the rest of the day. And when I immediately saw that, I said, no, I'm in here. I'm in here to win it, and doggone it, we're gonna win it. We gotta come away with something on today. We're gonna move ourselves in a little bit of a profit here, but I said it. We're gonna put ourselves in some form of a W on today after what we had to deal with in this bull flag of our entry model presenting itself quite a few times, right? And they failed. But we hung in there just a little bit longer, and we called the break and retest on this massive bull flag pattern that's here. And we have our TP set. Our first initial TP is at 76. Should we do here at 76.04? Maybe not. Cause I could say, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add to our position here. Just add one.
Order filled.
I'm gonna add one to our position here, right? What I want to see is us go ahead and take this off the table. Gain profit, take that off the table. Here. I want to set these targets right. Yeah. 76.04.25. Nah, I'm gonna go back here. There's no reason. There's no reason. We're gonna ride the wave. Let's ride the wave today. So we're going to take a look at the higher time frame. Our final TP is 76.34, looking to be able to sweep previous week high. Because you have a draw on liquidity that's here at buy side, that's at 76.52. We got some buy side liquidity that's sitting right there. So if I were to move this down a notch, you'll be able to see I have a line that's drawn out right there. This black line here that's drawn out for buy side liquidity. So it's looking for that next draw, and that could be potentially that next draw. So we're just gonna hold and ride this wave all the way through lunch. But that's what we were talking about, that break and retest, being able to spot it, hang on and stay within that trade. And when you have tools like that in your bag along with your model, sometimes when your model fail, you know, you just reach for those other resources it is that you have to give yourselves other opportunities within the market, and we did that on today. Obviously, at the end of this trade, we would still be down for today. I'm gonna just be honest, right? It may not be the whole 1635. We was down 1635 on today from this morning from my first initial trades. If we could just cut that in half, I would be okay. If we could just cut that in half, I would be okay. So let's just see how this plays itself out. We're looking to reclaim that high of what happened on the breakout. And if we can start trading above that high at 76.04, it's going to be sweet. So with this trade playing itself out, let's go into what I was talking about a little bit earlier today, because this same thing, and it was a reason, that's crazy how these things work. It's a reason why I was discussing this earlier today. It was a reason why I was discussing this earlier today. Let's go to the 5 minute. You see it on the 5 minute, right? So if I could show this to you on a bigger scale with what I was talking about with crypto, I just want to go to that real quick. If you were not paying attention to me this morning, I was talking about XRP being in that type of same situation. Obviously, you know, it's bullish on today, which is cool, but I want to go to a higher time frame. I'm going out here to the weekly, right? I want you to see this with your own eyes. Flagpole here, right? Flagpole here. Massive flagpole, right? But I want you to take a look at this. We're going to include the wick. Price comes and trades back into this fair value gap, right? Once it comes and trades back into this fair value gap, you start finding institutional buyers buying and discounting PDRA, right? But we're not going to buy right there, which we could start accumulating. If price moves into a consolidation and it's institutional buying happen there, of course we'll start accumulating here. We'll dollar cost average our way into the trade. But this is where I said this could be that one trade that changes your whole entire life. If you're a person who is new in trading and you're trying to build capital. If you're trying to build capital, you take small leverage, right? Small. I'm not talking nothing that's major or huge. I'm talking like a 2x, 3x leverage. 5 being the highest, if you could withstand the volatility. A 5 being the highest, right? 5 being the highest. And from that point, you're buying here and your dollar cost averaging into the position on the trade with capital, right? There's got to be live capital. And you get this massive breakout, retest, and another 500% move. Basically this move here. If I could do it, hold on. Let me take this off, take that off. Let me show you what I mean. What I mean is this. You get that move, right? That's a 500% gain. That's right there. Look, that's a 500% gain. 600% gain. Well, about 586 to be exact, right? About 586 to be exact. But to go to that complete high of where that is, that's a 654% move that happened here. You get that type of move and you have leverage, your life changed completely. Your life immediately shifts and changes. Immediately. That's the type of gains that crypto can give you. Obviously, you can do it from spot, right? Like a 6x on spot is still pretty cool. But to do that times 5, times 3, times 2. If you do it times 2, that's 654% times 2. That's over a 1,200% move. 1,300% move. If you do it times 5, you could do the math. I don't have to do the math for you. You could do the math yourself. That's life-changing money. For some who knows how to trade. And that's how you can start building up within crypto. It's going to happen because we're in that same pattern. It's going to be a break, retest, take off, 600% move, 700% move within the crypto space, because those moves are very real. They happen. They happen. Most people don't never. That's the part that they don't see within crypto, and that's how they miss out on crypto. But I said I'm gonna give away some tea today. It's 11:30. We're well past our streaming time frame, but this was news today. So obviously we had to sit through the consolidation of the bull flag. Once we broke out of that, now we're in the initial trade itself. And we'll hold this as we get well past throughout the day. I'm not looking to be able to close the trade at all, but I will be walking away come lunchtime. I will leave the stream going so that the trade can be able to continue to show live. But I will be walking away, going to get lunch and take care of business and come back around 1 p.m. with the trade still going. But if you look at the crypto space and you find trades that are like this, we're looking at this on the weekly, guys. We're looking at this on the weekly. We're out, right? obviously, if we're going to be trading this based upon the weekly time frame, which you should, in my opinion, with crypto assets, trade. If you want to understand how the game works, and you want to play the long game with crypto, trade these assets on the weekly and use your daily and 4-hour time frame for your interest. And if you are savvy enough, just savvy enough, you add a little bit of leverage to that, your life changes completely. Your life changes completely. I wouldn't tell you this if it wasn't real. I wouldn't tell you this. This is my weekly chart of Bitcoin. Did I not say this was discounted zone, right? I'm calling this a discount zone. What is happening with price? Well, if you accumulate it down here and you just say you're just trading the asset, you're not necessarily in a position to where you want to start accumulating for spot, right? Because you still feel there's some downtrend momentum that is happening, right? But say if you're just trading it, you buy down here at this discounted zone that was here, and you would be up right now. If you would have bought here, you would have been up on leverage. Say if you was on a 10x or a 20x leverage because you're short-term trading, you would be well up by now. And that's how you trade crypto assets. Yeah, spot is cool, but spot is for when you're looking to do like your long-term plays. I think you should create two positions. You should have your spot positions and your leverage positions. Your leverage positions is where you gain capital and you start taking profits off of those. You start scaling off of that, right? Off of what you're gaining massive profits off of on your leverage trades. You take profits off the table when it's time to take profits off the table, and then you add them to into your spot position, right? You add them into your spot position when it's time to add them into your spot positions based upon pullback. When you know you're taking profits and price is getting ready to pull back, you take your profits off the table. Once price pulls back, enter back into accumulation. That's when you start accumulating more with the profits that you gain from your leverage trade. And you build wealth that way through crypto. You have to understand the game and how it works. I have a crypto cheat guide. If you follow me on Twitter and you literally go to my Twitter account on X, if you follow me on X, you go to my X account, right? New Level Traders on X. If you go to my X account, you will be able to grab that cheat guide to be able to help you trade. It'll teach you how to trade crypto assets. That's what changes the game for those who don't understand how this works. Because those 11% moves will feel a whole lot different once you add leverage to it. It's cool for your spot positions, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. But you gotta have a decent amount of capital to be able to feel what 11% feels like. 11% gain. Gotta have some decent enough capital for that. But if you're a person who says, "Man, Jeremy, I'm only starting with $100, or I'm only starting with about $50, or I'm only starting with about $500, or whichever the case may be," and you're one of those people, because that's how I start. All you need is to have your spot positions and your leverage positions. And your leverage positions is what you're going to use to be able to add to your spot, because we know crypto works in what? Cycles. Your spot is going to be what take you throughout the entire crypto cycle, not your leverage positions. Your leverage positions is just there for you to be able to trade those big moves. You take profits off the table, you know when to re-enter into position, and you continue to play that way, and you just take those profits and add them to your spot. You're building long-term wealth. And you do that all 4 years, and let me show you what you'll go through. Let me show you exactly what you'll go through while doing that. How many of you ever seen this chart before? Wall Street cheat sheet. You could go and download this chart if you need to. It's simply right on Google. You could go and download this. But Wall Street cheat sheet, psychology of a market cycle. This is not just crypto, right? This is just the market itself and how the market plays itself out. And you can see this every single day when you trade. But with crypto, what I want to teach you is that when you're going through this cycle, if you take a look at the bottom, right, where disbelief is, that's accumulation. That's where people who are buying who don't believe, right? Then those who have bought during accumulation, they're going to have a little bit of hope because a breakout just happened. Then you're going to have optimism that happens. And then by the time belief happened, that's where you're going to be getting everybody else who wants to get involved into the trade, who wasn't buying during accumulation because they had a lot of crap to talk about when it came to crypto, right? But then you bought all the way back at disbelief. So the next leg up, you're going to be feeling that thrill because you're playing the game the way that it's supposed to be played with your spot and leverage positions. And then you're going to feel that euphoria state. That euphoria state where price goes bananas and goes ridiculous. By the time you get into year 4 of the cycle, that's where you're going to be buying your Lambo. That's where you're going to be buying your mama house. That's where you're going to be told your job, hey, I'm done with you. I'm walking away because I just created generational wealth for me and my family because I played the game the right way for 4 years. Once you understand that, it changes everything for you. Most people don't get to that level. They don't get to that level of understanding because they just don't know. And it's okay. But if anybody who watches me, anybody who deal with me, I'm not going to tell you nothing wrong. That's why I try to give as much free game as possible. My newsletter is free. All you have to do is sign up for that newsletter. You get a weekly newsletter to help you with your weekly trading, day trades, because it'll give you a full macro assessment of the market itself. That's with stocks, crypto, indices. You have that. You'll be smart enough to know what sectors are to be played within the market weekly. Then you got the crypto cheat guide to teach you how to play crypto, because most people don't understand how crypto works, so they stay away from it and they just label it as a risky asset. But I say it's risky when you don't understand what you're doing. You're absolutely right, it's risky. I will walk away immediately not knowing what I'm doing. Because all you're going to be doing is losing money. Just throwing money away. But you're going to be great. You're going to be great. If you keep tuning in to me every day, you're going to be able to gain some information and some knowledge that is going to surpass all your understanding. I kid you not. And understand with the game, hey, wins come, losses come. That's trading. That's trading. could have 3 losses in a row and have 1 win at the end of the day that makes up for all those losses. I know plenty of traders who have gone weeks with losses, but they had great risk management. And then they turn it right back around, boom, and start back winning all over again. I was one of them in the month of February. The month of February was one of the toughest months if you was a trader trading in the month of February. That consolidation state that we were in the month of February, look, let me show you. February, look. Men lie, women lie. But we go back to February. This here, a lot of y'all didn't get a chance to trade this. You wasn't in, you probably was not in the market trading this here at all, period. Yeah, real traders, we're going to be able to go back and say, hey, we were trading Donald Trump's market back in consolidation when he was doing tariffs, okay? His tariff rants that he was on, that was pretty huge during that time frame, giving us the hardest time as traders. We had no sense of direction every single day we traded. I got killed on this month, but I had great risk management this month. Great risk management all the way into March, right? Then we was able to get some beautiful shorts in to recover all of what we lost in February. And then boom, we just went on to take out all-time highs. We went and established new all-time highs. Being in this market here overall, this is what showed if you were really about that trading life or not. It really showed during that time frame. One of the toughest times to be in the market. We need to start seeing some expansion on this move here. It's 11:36. So we'll see how this continues to play itself out. It may pick up and take off fully after lunch, is in my opinion. But we'll see. But that was the toughest time to trade. If you were a person who was not in the market, you wouldn't know how that feels at all, period. But those of you who were in the market, you know exactly what that felt like. You know exactly what that felt like. It's now 11:37. In about the next 13 minutes, we're going to be walking away, but we will keep the live going to see how this trade plays itself out, right? I'm not going to close out the live. I will keep the stream going so that this trade, you can watch this trade play itself out to see if this break and retest actually holds and continue to trade higher. But that's what we want, right? But we know with a move like this is something that's going to have to play out over the intraday, the entire day. So we will have to hold this move for the entire day. This is not one of those quick scalps. It's a day trade. And you have to treat it as such. But what I'm seeing right here Us being stuck a little bit, catching rejection right here where we had our breakout. A little bit below that, we're catching a lot of rejection here. So you got some sellers that's hanging out right here at around 7,600, 7602.50. So let's see if we can pull from here and be able to get some continuation happening. Even still, we haven't hit. If 7604 was like our first initial TP where we took a contract off the table, right? In which we might set one, but I don't want to cut our profits in half like that. But if we were to take profits off the table there, we still haven't returned there at all. We're gonna go back to break even and just hold there at break even. If we get taken out at break even, then that's understandable. So what we did here was cut the risk and brought our stop to a break even point. If this trade was to reverse fully at break even, we lose nothing. But if it was to come here, retest this area that's here at 75.84, right? Now understand why our entry point has moved, because we added a contract which drew us up a little bit higher. So we're coming back to retest this area here. Let's see if this holds. If not, then we get stopped out of the trade at break even. So let's see what happens here. Got about 4 more minutes. But price action has been very weird, man. This is weird energy. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
Stop filled.
We get stopped out before 11:45. Weird energy. Let's see what's happening on a higher time frame. See, with Warsh speaking right now, it puts us in this box that I don't like. With Kevin Warsh testifying today, because look, Fed Chair Warsh testimony, with his testimony happening today, that's keeping us in like this box, man, that's not allowing price action to be as smooth as we want it to be. Which just pisses me off with how the day, it makes the day go. It makes trading way more difficult than what it is. Way more difficult than what it is. If you're looking at it on a 1 minute, price breaks all the way out, comes right back to VWAP and just sitting right there at VWAP. Looking at it on a 1 minute time frame, VWAP is literally at our entry point that's here. So that's it for me on today. If we re-enter and take another position on this, I'll let you all know. But as of right now, we're just going to walk away with Fed Wash dominating today, and he's going to be dominating tomorrow too as well. We just going to go ahead and walk away from this guy, man, because he is making the day quite difficult. And I usually don't like stuff like that, because stuff of what's really simple in the market, man, he makes it very difficult, man, for us to be able to kind of get back into the swing of things. But I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Order filled.